Everyone, my name is Cassandra with Interactions, and this will be the training session 1 for the new sample spot program inside of Price Chopper and Market 32 stores. So I'm going to wait to see if we can garner a couple of viewers here. The great thing about this link is that it can be used both before, during, and after. So this recording, this will be an actual recording. So although I am live right now, I will give you an opportunity to ask questions via email because you should only be able to see and hear me. So we're getting a couple viewers in, and there's no way to take live questions for this training unless you have a YouTube account and you're already logged in. So I'll keep an eye on that in case you guys do ask questions. This should take no longer than about a half an hour. And again, like I said, you will be able to view this link again and again and be able to pause it eventually. So just some tips: make sure that your volume is turned up at this point. Make sure that you have maximized your screen as large as you can so you can see when I'm screen sharing with you. And again, I will give an opportunity at the end to email questions, and then I will get back to you by the end of the day. So it'll be a two-part training. Half of it will be me talking, and then I'll also do some screen sharing with you so that you guys can better understand how to complete a recap, how to view your event materials, and really navigate FieldLink, which is you should all have access to by now. That's the profile you're going to use on a regular basis to view your schedule. So we will go over all of that. Also make sure that, again, maximize your screen so you can see if you haven't done so already, and turn up your volume so that you can hear me. There may be a little bit of a delay from the time that I'm speaking to you now to when you're receiving it. So I believe when I tested it, it's about a 30-second delay. So it's not 100% real time, but I am here. So again, we'll go ahead and get started. So once again, this training is for the new exciting sample spot program, which is going to be taking place in Price Chopper and Market 32 stores. So I'm just going to go through and with some basic information, and then I'll screen share with you guys on some of the event details. And don't worry, I'll have chance for questions. I'll have multiple trainings. So if you don't catch anything right now, don't worry, we'll get back to it. So as you guys know, historically, Price Chopper has managed their own sampling events for the past 30 to 35 years. Most recently, they have decided to partner with us, Interactions, to bring together a new and improved program that is sales oriented, and we're really going to drive that guest experience and increase the excitement around this program. So the program is named Sample Spot, and I will show you guys in a minute what the new program is going to look like. So some background information though, Price Chopper, like I said, has always managed their own program. So this is the first time that they have outsourced to us. We're happy to be partnered with them. Interactions has been around for a long time, and we have managed several different in-store sampling programs across the country. So this program in particular will run in 52 of their 134 stores. So we don't operate yet in all stores. That's always the ultimate goal. But for right now, we are only going to be operating in those 52 stores. So each one of you will have what is called a home store. That doesn't mean that you can't work at other stores. You certainly can, and we will do our best to have you work at multiple locations if you would like to maximize your hours. But each one of you will have what is called a home store. And that is basically where we schedule you on a regular basis. So for example, if I am close to store 123, that's my home store. And if I want to maximize my hours, I'm going to let my managers know that I'm willing to go to other stores within, a 15-mile radius or something like that, so that we know when how much you guys are willing to work. We do all of the scheduling for this program on the back end. So everything that we do is manual. It's a manual schedule. It works very differently for adult beverage events. So I want to explain something to you guys. The adult beverage program has actually been running for about 1.5 years in Price Chopper and Market 32 stores. When I say Price Chopper, it's all encompassing for Price Chopper and Market 32. So just know that when I say that, I'm talking about the program in general. But we do commonly refer to it as Price Chopper. So with that being said, we have been running an adult beverage program for quite some time, and it runs very differently. We have now combined the scheduling. So if you are hired and you are over the age of 21, you are eligible to work those adult beverage sampling events if you wish. However, the scheduling for adult beverage works differently than the food events. So as of right now, the way that we do scheduling for adult beverage is they are sent out as soon as we enter them into the system. You will receive an email letting you know that those are available for you to work. And then you can apply to work those. That doesn't mean you have to be interviewed again. It just means that you're bidding on it. You're saying, hey, I want to work this event. And then the system works on a first come, first served basis. So if you were hired in for that event, the system will kick you out an email and let you know that you've been scheduled for it. So that is how we do adult beverage sampling. And then we'll have someone in contact with you to schedule training and get you situated in terms of that. Adult beverage events right now are 2.5 hours, and the times vary, typically Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they don't happen in all stores. They only happen in some stores. We do not do adult beverage events in Connecticut or Vermont because of state laws. But if you are in the other states we operate in, you're eligible to work those if there are any in your area. So it's not all stores, just some. And the pay rate for those is $20 an hour. And then for our food events, this is a new program. So we're literally starting this weekend. Many of you are starting this weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday, maybe in the next couple of weeks. So you should all by now in your Field Link profile have your schedule. And again, I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. But you should be able to view that. And in there, that's also where you'll get your event materials and all of that. You'll see that the pay rate for food events is $13 an hour. So you'll always see the pay rate within your profile for whatever scheduled event that you are scheduled for. So we have a few of them coming up. And this weekend is when we were launching just the Market 32 stores. So the Market 32 stores are starting a little earlier. There's 14 of them plus one Market Bistro, and they're all starting this Saturday. The rest of the stores, the Price Chopper stores, will start on Saturday, March 3rd. So we still have about a month to go for those. So if you are working primarily at a Price Chopper, you're just joining the training early, which is great. We love to get it done now and get that out of the way and get you ready to go. So, okay, so from there and your scheduled event, you will never see the food events as opportunities in your profile to apply for it. That is only the adult beverage events. The way that we do scheduling for food events is I happen to know that, Cassandra works at store 123, Joe works at 456, and Sarah works at 678. So between those three stores, I will do all the scheduling on the back end. When we hire you or schedule you in for an event, you will receive an automated email from the system letting you know that you have been scheduled. If you are ever not available to work an event that we scheduled for, you need to let us know immediately so that we can find somebody to replace you. However, we should have already known in advance before we do scheduling the time off that you need. So hopefully you never get scheduled for an event and then need to be removed. It's always our goal for you to tell us ahead of time so that we have that information when we are doing scheduling. I also highly recommend that you do not go on or rely on the emails rather that are being sent to you. Sometimes they're wonky. If we accidentally hire you in for the wrong store or the wrong day, we have to remove you, in which case you'll get another email. And then we also have to add you to the new one, which is just another email. So I want to make sure you guys get in the habit of actually logging on to your Field Link profile to view your schedule. So do not rely on those emails. Really log in on a regular basis. I would say weekly at the very least, to view your schedule Field Link, and I'll show you how to do that so that you know what you are scheduled for. End all be all, that's the schedule that you can go off of. If you ever see you're scheduled for something in there that you requested off or you shouldn't be scheduled for, you need to let us know immediately because we think that you're scheduled for it and that you're working it. So it's really important you guys let us know. Also, please note that moving forward, any communication you send to us regarding the Price Chopper or Market 32 sampling events needs to be sent to our general inbox, which is pricechopper@interactionsmarketing.com. Again, that's Price Chopper, one word, all lowercase, at interactionsmarketing.com. Interactions is plural. So I'll give that again at the very end. That is what I sent the training information from, and that is the email you should use. So there are several of my team members working on this account, and in order to keep us organized and keep everything situated, we need all requests to go to that email so we can all manage it together. We all have access to that inbox, and it'll ensure that we get back to you in a timely manner. Okay, so now that we've talked about scheduling, let's talk about a few of the differences between own brand and national brand events. So within this program, we will do two different types of demos. One is called an own brand demo, and the second is called a national brand demo. And I'll explain the difference between the two. So an owned brand demo means that we are sampling one of Price Chopper or Market 32's exclusive own brand products, meaning that product is only sold in Price Chopper and or Market 32 stores. It is a brand that is exclusive to them, so it cannot be sold elsewhere. So PICS, P-I-C-S, is the brand that you may be sampling on a regular basis. So that would be an own brand event. You'll see a lot of those products come through that we'll be working on. In fact, all of the events in February, as of right now, are own brand events. When we have own brand events, we will not purchase any items. So this is really important to note. Anytime you have an own brand event, you still have to have your event receipt form signed, but you do not need to have a receipt attached to it because you will not make a purchase. So instead, there's a little box that you'll check that says, I did not make a purchase today. That will signify to us that you did not make a purchase because it's an own brand event, which we know ahead of time. You will always know based on your event materials whether or not it's an own brand event that you're doing or a national brand event that you're doing. So please always pay attention to your event materials to make sure that you are either purchasing or not based on what type of demo it is. So you're probably wondering what the process is for own brand demos. So it's going to be really simple, and it does depend by department. So and this will always be in your event materials. So always remember to check your event materials to see what you should do with the product. It depends on the department you're working in. So I will have a specific instructions on those event materials of what you should do with your product because you will not be purchasing for the month of February. And then also I'll go over the event materials shortly. However, and I'll show you where you can obtain those because they will not be emailed to you. It'll be your responsibility to gather them or obtain them from your field link profile. So national brand demos are what you would expect. So it is a national brand product. They're sold nationwide. These are things that you recognize on the shelves. Okay, Gatorade is a national brand. Ritz crackers, Wheat Thins, I'm trying to think of Organic Valley milk. Those are national brands. They are sold all over in multiple stores. And when we do those events, you will be responsible for purchasing the product. Now, here's what the process looks like for that. When you do a national brand event, and again, this will always be on your event materials, but when you do a national brand event, you are going to save all of the items. So you open the product as you go. So let's say, for example, we are doing a Ritz crackers sampling event with Organic Valley cheese, okay? And we're sampling the cheese on the cracker. So what you would do at this point is you would only open what you need at one time. So just open one box of Ritz, one package of cheese, start making your samples. And then as you go through those, if you need more, you can open more product. What I recommend is having a basket underneath your sampling cart. And then you can save all of your empty packaging in there because that's what you're going to scan at the end of your event to check out. So you'll save all your product once you clean up and everything. You will get the debit card, which stays at the store from the customer service desk. So it'll always be kept at the customer service desk. It's never to leave the store, and it has a PIN number. The PIN number for the debit card is the same no matter what store you're working at. It is 8700. Again, that's 8700. And that will always, again, also be on your event materials too. So that PIN number, write it down, is going to be 8700. It's the same no matter which store that you work at. The way that we manage the debit cards is we add funds before the weekend and we remove them at the end of the weekend to make sure that they are secure. So you will need to borrow that debit card again from customer service, use it to check out. It has to be run as debit. You cannot run it as credit with PIN 8700. And then from there, you'll be able to purchase the items. Always make sure you return the debit card to the customer service desk. If you forget to do that and you accidentally take it home, please let us know immediately so that we can work out a solution, because other people for that weekend might need that card. So again, please try to make sure you leave it at customer service. If it's ever missing, we'll provide you with a phone number so that you know who to call, so that we can implement some backup procedures. But that is for national brand events. Very important also, guys, is that you save your receipt. So you want to make sure you save your receipt, because that is going to be attached to your event receipt form, which I will show you what that looks like. It's already uploaded into your FieldLink profiles, and I attached it to the training email. I recommend that you print several of those. Those will not be kept at the store. You will need to bring a blank new one with you to every event that you work, and you'll need to have that signed by a manager when you check in and when you check out. So I'll go over that as well. But that is the difference between an own brand and a national brand event. Again, we will always tell you on your event materials which one it is and if you need to purchase product for that particular sampling event. Okay, moving on. So all of you by now should have a food handler certification that that was required. We talked about that during when we hired you. If you don't have one and you need the instructions on how to do that still, please reach out to us and we can send you that information. We have to have that on file, and every one of you is required to have that. Also, you must keep a copy of your ServSafe on you at all times. It can be a physical copy, or you can have it if you have a smartphone or just a picture of it, that's fine as well. But if a health inspector were to come in, you need to have a copy of that on you in case they were to ever ask. So please make sure that you do have a copy of that. Electronic is fine, or a paper version, whichever is easiest for you is totally fine. As I mentioned, moving forward, please make sure that you are always emailing the Price Chopper inbox. So that would be pricechopper@interactionsmarketing.com. You guys should all have that email by now, and that's going to help us stay organized. For time off requests, if you guys need to have time off and you know in advance, please let us know with as much notice as possible. The farther in advance that we know, the better. We ask that you give us at least 2 to 3 weeks notice, at least. So if you have more than that, that's great. We try to schedule 2 to 4 weeks in advance so that you guys know your schedule that far out. At a minimum, it will be 2 weeks. And maximum, it'll be about 4 weeks. So we aim for 4 weeks, but it will always be 2. So please, guys, I'm still working on February scheduling right now. But if you need dates off, it should be on that availability survey. And if you forgot to add anything, please make sure that you email us those dates so that we will not schedule you on those days. If ever you have an emergency and you need to call out, there is a number that you will call on your event materials. This will be the territory supervisor most of the time. Her name is Jeanette Collins, and technically she is who you will report to. She will occasionally be visiting the stores, primarily in the Capital District, but she will visit other stores as well on a monthly basis. She'll come in, check on you guys, make sure everything's going smoothly, help you with anything that you need, make sure all the equipment is up and running, and replace things as needed. So please just make sure I will provide her information in the event materials as well so that you have it. She will have a work cell phone, and you guys will need to call or text her on event days if you have any issues. She will be the one that you will go to, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about once you actually get in the store. So kind of exciting. I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. Let's go ahead and screen share. And okay, so here we go. So at this point, you guys should be able to see my screen instead of me. Let's see, here it is. So I'm trying to make this as big as I possibly can, but this is what the new sample spot program will look like. So the apron is slightly different. The carts should be wrapped by the time that you guys arrive for your scheduled event this weekend. We're getting these all on the Market 32 sample carts right now, but we're still working on getting them for the Price Choppers. So they should be there beforehand, but just so you know, this is what it looks like. And then this is what your hat and apron will look like. So it's actually like a dark chocolate brown. And then this green will actually have green straps as well. So a little similar. This was an original mock-up. I don't have the latest one. And then you'll also be getting some buttons for flair. They're kind of cute. They'll add an inviting touch to the program. And then lastly, we will also create name tags. So the name tags are not pictured here, but those will also be mailed to the stores, and you guys should have those in time for your first scheduled event. when you arrive, then please let us know by contacting Jeanette. Again, we will give you that contact information and she can help sort that out. But you guys will grab these at the store. Obviously, the apron and the hat, once you get your apron and hat from the store, this will be yours to keep, as well as the buttons and your name tag. So you will be responsible for bringing those items home with you and then bringing them back clean and laundered for every event that you work. So please just make sure, guys, I just want to give you a glance at what the new program is going to look like. So it'll be similar to this, and you will need to make sure that you bring back your hat and apron. Also remember, uniform is black closed-toed shoes, black slacks, and a white collared long sleeve button-up shirt. So again, white long sleeve button-up shirt, black slacks, and black closed-toed shoes. They can be dress shoes or tennis shoes, whatever you're comfortable in, because you will need to stand for the entire length of your demo. So please just make sure that you guys are coming in uniform, you're looking sharp. Ladies, if you have long hair, it does need to be pulled back into a ponytail. Hats are going to be a little late. So hats actually will not be there for your first event. So we're going to try and get these to you guys by week 2, but you will not have those in the beginning. So please make sure, ladies or gentlemen, if you have long hair, please pull it back into a ponytail so that it is out of your face and compliant with food safety codes. You will not need a hat or anything for the first event, and we will get those to you as soon as possible. But once you have them, it is required that you wear the hat as well as the apron. So just please keep that in mind. For the first couple events, like I said, you might not have them. So just hang tight on those. We will get them to you as soon as we possibly can. Okay? Okay, and then this is what an actual cart looks like in store. So I'm going to bring that up for you. Give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so at this point, you should be able to see the sample spot cart. So once the table wrap is on it, this is what it will look like. Some of you may have seen this before, or if you've already worked an event, this is what they will look like. Some I believe may be a different color. They might be white around the edges here other than black, but most of them should look like this with this sample spot on the front. So we have our teams going out to the stores to make sure these have all been put on. And then this is the top of the table. So this is a great example of what the actual program will look like. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about when you arrive at the store. So let's go ahead. Hold on. I'm going to bring this back here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what to do when you arrive. So your scheduled event time is always in your profile, and it should be 11 to 5. Our events are Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 11 to 5. And you should be able to go in and view which days you're scheduled for in your profile at this point. I have scheduling as of right now done through February 17th. So there was a glitch with the last week of February as well as the 18th. So I am still working on finishing that up. I should have that done for you guys today. I will send out an email once I have finished the schedule for February. And if there's any remaining events left over that are unstaffed, I will ask you guys if you would like to work those. So just keep in mind that that email will be coming, and there'll be separate instructions for that. Very simple. So what to expect when you arrive. So you do not need to arrive any earlier than your scheduled time. So your setup and breakdown time is included within that paid 6-hour event. So you really need to stick within that 6 hours. So you'll arrive at 11 and you need to check in with the store manager. So any store manager is fine. You just need to give them your event receipt form and have them sign that. The event receipt form can always be found in the same place your event materials are in your field link profile. So make sure, like I said, that was also attached to the email. You want to print a couple of those out. So have that signed when you arrive to the store. And then, have that signed when you get to the store so they can verify your time in. And then you'll save that form because you need to get it signed when you leave too. So just hold on to that form. Then you'll go ask them if it's your first aid to direct you where the sampling supply area is, and they can take you back to the sampling supply area. So at that point, you should be able to find locate your materials, grab your cart, and look at your event materials to see what you're going to need. So I will specifically lay out on your event materials. It will say, okay, I need a demo cart, I need a spatula, I need measuring cups, I need a skillet, I need napkins, I need cups. Everything will be clearly outlined on there for you so you know what you need to grab. So I recommend putting that on the shelves underneath the carts, and then you can wheel all of that out. then at that point, you'll need to go gather your product. So you may be working with a particular department on the product, or you might have to grab it off the shelves. Again, that's going to be all on your event materials and where you need to grab that product from and how it should be sampled and displayed on your cart. So you can ask the store manager where you'd like to set up. Generally speaking, we like you to be set up near the product. So for example, if it's a Ritz demo and Ritz is halfway down the aisle, we don't want you in the middle of the aisle. We want you on the end of the aisle so that they can see you, but you're still in that general vicinity so you can easily direct customers to where the product is. Same thing, if you're sampling a deli rotisserie chicken, you're going to be in the deli area. If it's a fresh item, the plums, you're going to be next to the plums. So, and a lot of times you're restricted if you need an outlet. So if you're working with a product that has to be kept warm or that we're cooking, you may need to be next to an outlet. So just ask a store manager where the best place to set up is. If you need an outlet, let him or her know, so that you can set up near that so you can get up and running quickly. So your location may vary slightly from demo to demo. They might have you in one consistent spot. That's just going to be up to you guys to build that relationship with the store to determine where they would like you to set up. Generally, as a guideline, you're going to be set up near the product, not in the middle of the aisle, but towards the front of the aisle so that you can easily maximize how many customers that you see, do your sales pitch, and go from there. Okay, and then next is obviously is actually doing your demo. So the first half hour is reserved for setup. So from 11 to 11:30, you should be setting up. This is gathering all your materials, making sure everything you're next to an outlet if you need one, all your proper signage is up, all of that. Also, we will have new signage. So you guys may be used to some older signage. They will look similar, but they're going to be laminated, and they're little, maybe about 5 by 7 little cards. And we have little stands. I wish I had an example, but I don't, that they will sit in. And that's like a caution for allergens and a hot sign. And on the reverse side of that is a break sign. So if you need to take a break, then you can flip it over and it'll just say, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Or I'll be back shortly. I can't remember the wording exactly. Please make sure that is always, always, always displayed. You have to have that. It is a basic food safety requirement. So on your table, we want to keep it neat, clean, and looking tidy as possible. So make sure that you have that signage up there. It'll be petite. It shouldn't take up too much room. We redesigned it so that it would take up less room. So we want to just make sure that that is on there. Those should be available for your first event. Our team is going out to the stores and delivering that along with all the other supplies as well. So please make sure that's on there. Also setting up. So I believe that's all you really need as far as requirements on there, on your actual demo table, and then whatever the supplies are and the featured product, if we can display it. We don't want to overcrowd it. We want to always keep our area looking clean and tidy. So make sure you have a very inviting space. If you need help with that and you are concerned about the amount of room, contact one of us and we can clearly and easily help you out and find a solution for that. So by 11:30, now it might take you a little bit longer when you first are starting, but eventually you should have it down pat to a 30-minute setup time. So you want to do a 30-minute setup, so 11 to 11:30, and then by 11:30, you should be cranking out samples by that point. So we are actively sampling from 11:30 until 4:30, and then 4:30 to 5 is cleanup. So during 4:30 to 5, you should be trying to sell, educate the customers on the product. I've said it months before, this is not something where we want zombies behind a cart. We are looking, people are going to go after the sale, make connections with the customers, be inviting and invite every guest over, have enthusiasm, be energetic, and really outgoing. So we want to say, hi, welcome to Market 32. Would you like to try a sample today? Today we're sampling Ritz crackers and cheese. Fantastic. Ritz are on sale for 2 for $5. It's a great deal. Pick some up today. This cheese is awesome. It's organic, whatever the selling tips are. And we will provide you with selling tips. And you want to keep that short and sweet, right? We want to try and go for that sale. So just make sure that you are upbeat, just as the example that I gave. Invite every customer to try a sample. Always remember too, with children, we do not give out samples to children without parent consent. So as much as they may say, oh, my mom said it's okay, or whoever the parent is, they need to be there to give you verbal consent. You cannot rely on the child said, oh, my parents said it's okay. So say, I'm sorry, sweetie, I need you to go back and grab your parent and bring them back, and I can surely give you a sample. That's to help protect us in case they do have any allergies. So please make sure we're always asking for parent permission if the child would like a sample. Also, Trying to think during your actual demo. So within that 6-hour event, you do get one paid 15-minute break. So you are welcome to take this. Now, if you don't have to take it. It is paid time. So if you do, you need to make sure your station is closed down. You cannot leave anything hot or sharp on your table. So you basically have to completely break down. So I recommend trying to time it when all your samples for that batch are gone. So maybe, you finish your samples for that batch, cool down. So if you have a skillet or a toaster oven, it needs to be cooled. Anything sharp needs to be placed underneath your demo station, and flip your sign so that it will say that you'll be back shortly. And from there, you're able to take that 15-minute break in case you need to use the restroom or whatever. Very important, guys, and we will issue disciplinary action if we have to. You are not to be on your phones for any other reason than to check the time or to take required photos, which we're going to go after. So we do communicate with the stores. We do know if you guys are not, doing the job properly. We want to just make sure that we tell you ahead of time. You are not to be texting or making phone calls or anything like that, especially when you have your gloves on. Change your gloves as often as you need to. But if you were to ever touch your phone and then touch the food, that's a big no-no. So we want to make sure that you are changing them as often as you need to, and you are also going to not be on your phone. So really important that it's part of engaging the customer, showing that we're there, we're present, and we're excited to be there. So please make sure, guys, again, that you are not on your phones. You can have them there to check the time. I understand for emergency purposes and also for taking photos, but please make sure other than that, it is tucked away. Same thing with beverages. You are allowed to have a bottle of water underneath your station, and you can please make sure there are no guests around if you're taking a sip, and also that you change your gloves if you need to, but no other drinks and no other food is permitted. That's it, just a bottle of water. And that break, when you come back, you'll re-put everything together, make sure your station looks sharp, and then go from there to continue your sampling event. At the end of your event, so you should start cleaning up promptly at 4:30. One thing I forgot to mention is when you leave your station, you need to make sure that everything is closed down and there are no samples on your table. So if you have any leftover samples and you need to take a break, please make sure that you remove those so you can toss them in the trash. Like, let's say you had 3 samples left and nobody had eaten them, trash them. There cannot be any samples left out on the table when you're not there. So clean up 4:30 to 5. You'll need to work with your store to determine which sink you should use. You are responsible for cleaning all of your supplies and putting them back in their place. So please make sure we have a team effort here, guys. I don't want to receive any complaints that people left it a mess. So please note that you need to find that 3-compartment sink that should have been covered in your ServSafe training. They're in the deli or food service area, but just work with your store to tell them, or for them to tell you which one you should use if there are multiple within the store. So you guys should all know by now what a 3-compartment wash sink is. It will be in our training manual as well that we are working on wrapping up. And we'll provide that to you guys soon, but just make sure, you have your 3-compartment sink so you're washing and sanitizing everything properly. And then again, everything should be dried. It should not be left there for anybody to put away. We need to dry it and we need to put it back in the sampling supply area. Please make sure it is organized and everybody can find it should somebody else be working that store after you. So please just make sure of that. At the very end of your event, you will look at your event materials again to determine, is this an own brand event or is it a national brand event? Because there's going to be a different process for each. If it's a national brand, you're going to need to purchase the items you used and attach the receipt to your event receipt form. And if it's an own brand event, you will not have a receipt, and you'll need to look at whatever department you were sampling for. You need to look at the corresponding directions on what you should do with that product if you have anything left over. You are never to take any open product home with you. So if you had leftover Ritz crackers or anything left over, you are not allowed to take it with you, and it does need to be thrown in the trash before you leave. Please make sure you are abiding. That is a law. So please make sure you are not taking anything. I know it seems wasteful. It breaks my heart quite a bit, but please make sure that we are abiding by those rules. Lastly, is you need to have your your event receipt form signed by a manager. It doesn't need to be the same manager. It can be any store manager. They just need to sign off and verify your time out. Please try to stick to that paid 6 hours. We want to make sure we don't go over as much as possible. Again, I understand in the very first few demos, it might take you a little time to get comfortable. So that's fine, but ultimately we do need to stick to that 6-hour demo. And then from there, you will need to complete a recap. So at this point, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take you, screen share with you to go to Field Link and show you an example of how we are going to view your schedule, complete recaps, and such. So give me just a moment, and I'll share my screen with you. Alrighty. Okay, so at this point, you should be able to see my screen. So this is, I've made it as big as I can. I can make it a little bit bigger. It's okay if you can't make out the words here, guys. You don't really need to see them. So I'll make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, so this is what your recap, this is what Field Link looks like when you log in. So I can actually go back into the login page here. And this is what the login page will look like. So you'll type in your email and your password, and then you'll click sign in. Just so you guys know here, we probably have about another 5 minutes. So should we be a little bit over 40 minutes, and you will be paid for your time. This is what your homepage will look like once you log in. This is the website version. I will let you guys know that the website version looks exactly the same as the Field Link version on the app version rather, on your phone or your tablet. If you are ever completing a recap from a mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, you have to have the app. You cannot just go onto a browser like, Google or Firefox or Safari or anything like that, or Internet Explorer from a phone and type in this link. You have to download the app from either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So just keep that in mind. If you need help with that, I'm happy to help you, but you cannot complete a recap. If from a mobile device from the website. You have to use the app. So this is what you will look like. So obviously we're pretending that I am Mitch, and this is my my home page. So it says I have 1 event waiting to be scheduled or waiting to be executed. So that means that I have 1 event that I'm scheduled for right now. This button in the left-hand side here is your menu button. You can click that and it will open up all of your items. So pretty simple. So you can see if you click on events here, you'll see I have a 1 here. So that signifies that I'm scheduled for 1 upcoming event. Okay. So if I want to expand this, I just simply need to click on events. And then I have a couple different ways to look at this. I personally like to look at my event list. So I'm going to click on event list, and it's going to bring me to all the events that I'm scheduled for. So right now I'm only scheduled for 1 event. So you can see here, this is the event I'm scheduled for. It has the, oopsies, sorry about that. It has the pay rate, and it has the date and time that I'm scheduled for, which store number and the address. If you want to view that on a map, you can even click this little map button, and it will even show you exactly where the store is. I assume, well, it knows that I'm in Minneapolis right now doing this, so quite a long way for me to get there. But just as an example, you will be able to scroll in here just by moving your fingers up or down on your mouse. To find out where this event is if you're not sure. For many of you, you probably already know, but just so you're aware, then you can view it there. So I just clicked home to go back. So again, let's go back to our event list. And then also the event materials that correspond with this event will be uploaded right here. So it'll be under event materials. So you can see this one, it says already reviewed because I've clicked on it. Anything that's is in blue like this is a clickable link. So if I click on this, it's going to bring up, it's actually going to download. So it actually downloaded. And I want to make sure you guys can see this. Okay, looks like you can. So this is an event receipt form. So it's a blank version. This is also what I emailed you. This is where you'll put your store number, store name, the date you worked, the begin time, end time, your name, and signature. And then down on the bottom here is where the manager will print their name, sign their name, and if they have a store stamp, they should also stamp it right on this bottom box. If you have a receipt for a national brand event, you will attach it right in here. And if you did not make a purchase, just mark this box so that I know you didn't make one and that I don't need to see a receipt. Right now, I only have this uploaded for your event materials. I don't actually have your other document at this point. Those are uploaded the Wednesday before, so tomorrow. The actual event materials document, which will have selling tips, how to set up, all the items that you need to grab from the sampling supply room. Those are uploaded the Wednesday before your scheduled event for that upcoming weekend. So everything for this Friday, the 2nd, through Sunday, the 4th, will be uploaded tomorrow. And you'll get an email letting you know I've uploaded those as well. But they'll be available here. Look at them here. So go back to the menu, event materials. And if you click on event materials, it will tell you, see, this is my Price Chopper onion dip event. And you can do the same thing here where it will download it. It will come as a download, and then here it is. And that's how all of the event materials will work. I recommend doing it from your event list schedule right here, just because it's all in one box. So everything for this event is right here in this box. If I had a second one, it would be down below this, and everything corresponding with that would be there. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and go through just a few other things here. The calendar is just showing you when you're scheduled. So like this is in January. Let's click February. So I can see I'm only scheduled for an event here on February. So this is what you want to look at just as a calendar view. I don't really ever see the need to use this. I like to just look at my event list. Confirming events, I do not require confirmations at this point through the system. So you can ignore that. Event materials, we went through that. That's the other place where you can view your event materials. If you have event materials that you need to review, a number will show up right here too, letting you know there's new materials that you have not reviewed. Opportunities, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is for additional opportunities. So this is where you might see adult beverage events. It might see some other program events, and you are welcome to apply and work those for additional hours, so long as we've done your Price Chopper scheduling first. So please make sure you wait until we've done the scheduling. So right now I've done the schedule all the way through February 17th. So you can go in and apply for any opportunities if you'd like to work extra events, or if you want to talk through that more, I'm happy to do that. But this is where you would view those opportunities. Now, pending recaps. So this is the one really important thing I wanted to go over with everybody is in pending recaps, you're going to want to click on this and you can see a pending recap is your time card. So it basically means that you have a scheduled event, you just finished an event. So let's say I just finished my event and I want to complete a recap. So all you're going to do is it's going to show up here. So if you just finished an event like this Saturday, your recap won't show up until the end of your event. So on Saturday at 5 p.m., it'll have a 1 here next to pending recaps. You'll go in there, and then to open it, you're just going to click on it. So let's just click on this one. Let's assume that's the one I just did. It gives you the event details, and then here's where you need to type in your time worked. So this is really important, guys. You need to put in your time worked. So it's going to be 11 a.m. So you want to just scroll. Oopsies. You want to just scroll through until you get to 11 a.m. And you can do these separately, but it's a little easier here. Then click set to lock that in. And my checkout time was 5 p.m. So I'm just going to scroll through to get to 5 p.m. and then click set. Make sure your AMs and PMs are right. If you did take a break, you'll just enter your break time and start time and end time. If you don't have one, that's fine. It's not required. This is the part everyone seems to have trouble with. So I want to make sure you guys always see this button here. It says tap or click to complete survey. So this is a separate part. So you need to go ahead and tap and click that to complete the survey. And then in here, you'll answer any questions that we have. So it will look very similar to this. It'll be different questions, but you'll go through and answer all the questions. Were there enough samples? Yes, I distributed 200. And then commentary. These are just examples. You will need to make sure you pay attention. These will be different questions. So just make sure you guys are always doing the correct questions or answering correctly and as completely as possible. So then really important, it'll say important, you need to click submit. So go ahead and click submit at this point, and it'll say thank you for your time, just like up here. You'll click OK. Now at this point, it's really important. That only means that you submitted your survey questions. You still have to go back into your recap to submit your time and photos. So we do also require that in addition to answering those questions, you're going to upload 3 photos. The first photo is you at your demo station. The second photo is just your demo station. And for the photo of you, we do not allow selfies. So you do need to ask a store team member or a customer to take that photo for you. I would really prefer it to be a store team member. Just let them know. Eventually, they'll get used to it. But once you set up your station and you're looking sharp, you need a picture of you standing with your station. In uniform, with your cart merchandise, having samples out, looking sharp. The second one is just of your station without you in it, so you can take that yourself. And lastly is your event receipt form. So I'm just gonna click this camera to be able to choose a file from my computer that I want to use. So I'm going to just click choose file. Then I'm going to go to just wherever I saved the pictures. And I'm going to upload this first one. So I'm going to pretend this is my display photo. So it will show me an example here. And you're going to click whether this is an event photo or a receipt photo. So obviously this is an event photo. So I want to click event. And then you can see it's just a little icon. And that means that it's uploaded. Now, if I want to do another one, I simply do that again. So I'll click on the camera. I'll click choose file. And let's do another one here. As an example, we can just use this one. This is just my signature as an example, but it would be your event receipt form. Actually, we can actually do the event receipt form. I believe I downloaded one. Well, let's just pretend that this is my event receipt form. So obviously this is not, but let's pretend it's my receipt. So I'm going to click receipt here, and then you can see there's multiple images uploaded here. Now, in order to submit this, so you've already submitted your survey questions, but now to submit your time and your photos, you're going to click submit recap. It will give you this little pending bar to letting you know that it's working on submitting it. So just don't close this out. Make sure it gets all the way to the end, and it will tell you once you're done. So we're almost there. So great. So it will tell me that my recap has been submitted and you are all set there. So just make sure you guys don't miss the actual survey questions. That was something I wanted to go over. All right, guys. So that's what I wanted to show you with your field link profile. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. If you guys ever need time off or any questions or questions after this, if I missed anything, please send an email to pricechopper@interactionsmarketing.com. And I will help you guys out with that. I'm going to pull this back up here. Okay. So again, any questions, guys, email that Price Chopper inbox. I'm sorry this went a little bit long, so I will pay you for your time. You'll see that on your very first paycheck. It will come through as a separate line item that says piecework. So that is where you can identify that. Thank you all so much. I am going to be sending out a knowledge quiz to those of you that confirmed. So I actually show that I have more viewers on right now than I anticipated. So if you were on this call, please send an email to pricechopper@interactionsmarketing.com and let me know that you were on this training call so that I can send you the link, because I only had 3 people confirmed for today for this time slot, and it looks like I have 7 people on. So I just need to know who you are so I can send you the knowledge quiz. It'll be a short quiz to confirm that you were here and that you were paying attention. Also, feel free to put any questions to me in there. This recording will be available anytime through the same link for you guys to go back to. I'm still polishing up a few things. This is my first training session doing this, so I may provide you with a better one should I have some better links in the future. And also, I'll do some recap videos on how to complete a recap, different things that I think are important for you guys to know. And then we may also have training videos in the future that we also will require you to watch, which won't be live. And those will take about a half an hour. And again, you'll be paid for your time for those as well. So again, thank you guys so much for your time. We're super excited about this program. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me at that Price Chopper inbox, and I'd be happy to help you guys out, okay? Thank you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.